regulators. We regulate defense medical experts and their lies. We're damn good too. But you can't be any geek off the street. You gotta be handy with the cross-exam if you know what I mean. Earn your keep. Regulators! Mount up. It was a
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Justice Team Podcast. We're filming live from the streets of San Diego in the sun in a metal tin can.
The penalty box.
The penalty box was collecting no heat. We have a very special guest who's accelerated my career as many as others across the nation. We have Michael Swanson here today.
Nice sound effects. All right. Good to be here.
We have a few co-hosts today. We have a color guy, Grayson Goody. Say hello.
Hello.
Well, that's very nice. And
Color? That was color?
that's the color guy.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day. Tom Conroy, co-host. Go ahead and say a few words. Okay, he's good.
I'm here strictly to fulfill the mandate that we have at least one Tom at all times present. 25% Tom content. I can't vouch for the quality of the programming right here. This seat at least. But
one Tom, never a Tom.
That's right.
Tom results in
disaster
situation. Okay, so we're here with Mike Swanson, who is founder of Advocate Capital. So my company uses you.
Yeah.
And we've been with you for 10 years since I started.
Is that crazy?
It's crazy.
You started when you were 12, I think.
A 12-year-old preview best.
And look what Mike does for you. He comes and sits in the penalty box. The sweat lodge.
I was hoping to drop a few pounds this weekend. So
this is it. Yeah, we're gonna do some peyote and get real crazy here.
I was just about to break out the peyote. Actually,
it is California, so
yeah, I guess that's actually Arizona, bro. Well, is it? Great. Is peyote okay here in California?
I've done peyote in California and Arizona,
okay,
so I'm pretty sure it's legal everywhere. As long as you're on an Indian reservation, peyote is legal everywhere.
Oh, so we can address this in post. I don't know if this needs to be part of the.
Well, if you're into Native American law, I guess you ask Grayson Goody. Okay, so Mike, I want to talk to you about, first of all, you've been a champion for consumer advocates. You have helped fund a lot of our cases.
Yeah.
We can pass it on to consumer, like friggin' great rates. But how did you get into this?
Really, I fell into it, actually. In 1989, my business partner and I started a mail order catalog company when we were 27.
Tom knows something about mail order, but it's different.
It was industrial supplies, very boring stuff, nothing exciting.
Yeah,
we built
mine
that.
was a wife. Okay.
We built that up for 10 years and sold it to a public company in 1999. We're looking for our next project, and we knew we didn't want to have a warehouse full of widgets anymore or blue-collar workforce, so we wanted our warehouse to be a bank account or a hard drive.
Nice.
That was all we had, and we had a little bit of money. So we came across this concept, Advocate Capital. I actually wasn't the founder. It was a really smart guy in Nashville, Tennessee. He scraped up some money, had the idea, made one loan to a law firm in Knoxville, Tennessee. And actually, that lawyer's still a customer. You might know him, Sid Gilreath.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's been
first customer is Sid?
Yeah, first customer. So we bought the company in 2000 when it had one customer, and we've just had a blast growing it, helping plaintiff lawyers get better results for their clients for the past 20 years. It's been great.
So tell us how it is that you're able to, as CEO of Advocate Capital, how it is you help consumer attorneys and their firms grow.
Yeah. Well, our mission is to help an ever-increasing number of plaintiff lawyers, and so that's what we focused on for the past 19 years. I don't want to do an ad for Advocate Capital. If you want to know about Advocate Capital, go to advocatecapital.com in detail. But we basically provide a line of credit with our technology. We're really an IT company. We've built this software platform, so we have about 510 law firm clients. We're tracking and funding over 65,000 cases real-time, 24/7. And the reason we do it case by case is that the borrowing costs can go through to the cases. So the net, as you know, the net cost of borrowing for our clients is zero for the cases that they win.
So how are you able to help accelerate the careers? And let's just talk generally amongst the panel here. Where do we think the law, the practice of law is going? And how do we think that, vehicles like the one that Mike has is able to get us to where we got to go?
Grayson, that's a question for you.
I think a lot of it's going to depend on what happens with this new law going through. If non-lawyers are going to be able to have law firms. I think a lot is going to depend on that. But I think in the future, law is going to go a lot from big firm down to small firm, solos, people working on their own. And I think folks like Mike are going to be able to help people, just like he helped you, Bob, grow their firm, take on bigger cases, take cases to trial who might not have the capital to take it to trial.
I mean, is there such thing as a small firm anymore? I mean, really?
Oh, sure. I mean, I think there is. I mean, our average client has 1.5 partners, statistically.
1.5.
1.5. Like
I have 1.5. I feel like it. A brother and a half.
So, yeah, I think the majority of the 70,000 plaintiff law firms in the country are small businesses, really.
Mike,
really.
how do you you're not in the business of just writing checks for everybody. How do you assess risk? If you're in the business of backing
Good
somebody,
question.
if you're in the business of looking out over that person's horizon, how do you approach risk? Because I think what I do, I have an insurance adjuster's mind and a plaintiff lawyer's clothes at times. I think about risk constantly.
He's from Hartford, Connecticut. I mean, that comes with the territory.
Home of the whalers in the insurance industry.
Insurance industry, right, yeah.
Wait, didn't the Whalers play in a mall?
The mall was connected to the arena.
Oh,
but yes, you could go to Foot Locker and buy shoes and then go to the Whalers game. So I want to ask.
That's why they went to
So, Mike,
Carolina.
how do you do you have a driving philosophy? Is there something that you view risk through?
Yeah, generally, I think the best predictor of the future is the past. And so we don't underwrite cases. We don't have any lawyers on staff. We know nothing about that. But we've become experts at picking the right law firms to work with.
Wow, really?
Yep. And
So you're all, in a way like a horse trader. You bet on a horse. Is the horse well bred?
it's closer to that.
Yeah.
It's not. We're at the low risk, high quality end of the lending spectrum. We have almost no charge offs because people didn't get to where the Simons are, for example, and not knowing how to run a business or pick cases. So you're right. We're betting on the law firm, essentially, not the cases. I don't know a good case from a bad case. No idea.
So Mike, so what happens then if I'm a new attorney, you've never dealt with me before, and I've got this case, and I'm like, hey, I need your help.
Well, we can't help everybody. We're not in business to help people who need money, right? Kind of like a bank, frankly. So it's hard when someone's just starting out on their own. But if they have at least built up some net worth and a good credit score, we can usually get started with at least a small relationship and build upon that. And that's one of the best things I can tell any plaintiff lawyers who might listen to this. Pay yourself, okay? Pay yourself and build net worth outside the law firm. There's so many experienced people you'll know inside this building, and you think they're bigwigs, but they apply to become our customers and we turn them down. There's an amazing number of broke plaintiff lawyers. It's just the most common reason.
And why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's a few things. First, it's the old comparative.
Leasing Ferraris.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they got to keep it up with the Joneses, right? They got to have a $5,000 suit walking in the courtroom and all these kinds of things.
Got to have the right cream for their beards. It's just terrible. Yeah.
It's a balm. It's a balm.
Yeah. So and frankly, most plaintiff lawyers have an undergrad degree in history, political science, sociology. Did I get yours yet?
Guilty as charged. Yeah.
Sociology, yeah.
Criminal justice, but
okay.
history, criminal justice. What were you?
A minor in picking up
I got
chicks.
it. Okay. I did not look this up. I did, but so plaintiff lawyers don't go to college to be business people.
Yeah.
They go to law school to help people. They don't learn business in law school.
Nope.
They get out of law school to go to CLE to learn about lower legal issues, and nobody ever helps them with business. And that's why I wrote my book, How David Beats Goliath. And it's the only book ever published to help plaintiff lawyers understand the basics of finance. And I donate the proceeds to AAJ from the
Seventh
book.
Amendment.
Seventh Amendment. And so we try to
I
give back.
actually have a signed copy of David Beats Goliath.
Oh.
It's 7-8 years old, vintage, very
Vintage.
nice.
The
Original.
pages are yellowing, aren't they?
Well, they stick together. But
I think that's a particularly salient point. I mean, thinking just sort of personally, I don't have the business acumen that Mike's describing, and,
Right.
and I approached my career from sort of a rhetoric communication standpoint, big history guy, and
Right.
I wouldn't know how to do half the stuff that Bob does, let alone what Mike does. You know?
And the insurance companies they count on that. They're banking on that. They're
Yeah.
banking on a thin balance sheet and a lack of understanding of business basics, right? So unfortunately, their strategies are very effective sometimes.
So could you offer our listeners just some advice from like a financial, like grassroots, like bear tactics, just some brick and mortar advice for someone starting their firm? Like, what could they do better? Just a few pieces of advice.
Sure.
No leases on Ferrari.
No.
One.
Well,
Rule number one.
yeah.
Start with a beard cream and work up to a beard balm.
A balm.
No African parrots like Grayson loves.
Yeah, well,
Hollywood suits first. 3 suits for $100.
Yeah.
I mean, really, some of it, Bob, is things that people know about already, but they haven't disciplined themselves to do them right. I mean, we all know how to lose weight, right? Eat less and exercise more.
I haven't figured it out. My wife's a fitness expert.
Oh, well, can't help you there.
Yeah.
Well,
No one can.
first, if anybody listening wants a copy of my book, get in touch with me. Somehow you'll find me. I'll send you a copy of it. Yeah, a couple of things, really basics, you know. I mentioned one of them, which is build net worth outside your law firm, because that's going to give you the staying power to get over the ups and downs of this business.
So what do you mean by net worth outside of the law
Right.
practice?
So pay yourself and save some money, or make some reasonable investments, so that when you look at, once a year, add up everything you own minus everything you owe. And if that's not a positive number, you're doing something wrong, and you need to pull back on your expenses somehow, or generate more revenue. And so every year that number should be going up over your career. Don't wait until you're 60 to start thinking about retirement. You might want to die at your desk. That's okay, but
Know a few that have.
yeah, exactly. But maybe you don't want to. Another basic, look, know your credit score. Credit scores matter more and more now, no matter what you do. Your credit score will affect your lease payment on your car, how much you rent your apartment for, even like getting access to utilities in your apartment. All kinds of things are affected by your credit score. So if you don't know your credit score, find out and do some smart things to bring the credit score up. Just the basics, It's not rocket science, but it's not sexy. The webinar we did with you, how to market your law firm, everybody wants to know about marketing. Right. Oh, that's so sexy.
What you do with the money?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. Then you get the money, and what you do with it, right? And hire professionals.
Hire people that know what they're doing.
Exactly.
That should be like number one. We had to hire, like, the first time ever at our firm, we hired a CFO. A guy has no idea what to do with money, but he's an amazing bartender, so we hired him.
I get it.
Bayhan, yeah.
I get it.
He's great. He actually keeps track of our fantasy baseball, like, stats and
Nice.
stuff. He's integral to our league.
But it's also what not to do. It's always smarter to learn from other people's mistakes rather than make them and learn the hard way, right? So one we like to say is don't promote the receptionist to CFO. Right? Happens a lot. Firms growing fast. Hey, Bob or Mary or whatever, go on YouTube.
My dad's name is Bob. His wife's name is Mary. That's good.
That was lucky. Here's QuickBooks. Go on YouTube and figure out how to use it.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, and they don't provide training. They don't have people to know what they're doing. They get in trouble. And the IOLTA account gets out of balance, and suddenly you lose your license.
So who do you find to be the majority of your clients? I mean, because we're all into this industry. It seems like I would assume, I don't know the data, but most firms I would assume are like solo or like under 4 lawyers that do play. Really?
Yeah. Statistically, most are solo. Most are solo. Then you get up to maybe 2-3 lawyers, and it's hard to hold plaintiff law firms together very long, right? You get to maybe 10 lawyers, and you don't get along. I don't need you. I'm going on my own. All this kind of thing. So it's hard.
That's where blackmail comes in very, very handy.
Hey, whatever works,
Yeah, always keep a folder locked away in your drawer, and you know what that folder's for.
Yeah, why do you think we're all still here?
Yeah, I got disbarred 3 years ago. Like I said earlier, it's a weekend at Bernie situation at this point. I'm just trying to get through the day.
Well, there's the carrot and there's a stick. They can both be effective.
Yeah.
So tell us about where you think the next hot spot is, like in the legal community or geographically. I mean, are you able to predict that? Are most of your clients geographically in a certain area, or are you just betting on the horse in all different places?
Well, our product is somewhat innovative, although we've been doing it 20 years. And I get so frustrated. From Buffalo, New York to Chicago is the most uninnovative area of the country I've ever. And I came from Cleveland. I mean, you came from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And you could walk up to a lawyer in Cleveland and say, "Here's a $100 bill," and they'd say, "Oh, I've never done that before."
All right, so Rust Belt lawyers.
Rust Belt. I guess
here's
they're eventually going to get with the program and start innovating a little bit.
Well, you could say there's a space in the market for someone thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
There's a hole there to be filled by somebody with innovative ideas, at least according to Mike.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're innovative, who wants to move back there, right? I mean, it's kind of a brain drain happening.
Yeah. Or if someone's there already and is
Yeah.
maybe finding the community stagnant or their own practice.
I
there's
agree.
room for innovation.
I think it's going to be a lot easier to compete with them than lawyers in other parts of the country.
Okay.
Good job,
That's
Tom.
interesting. I would have thought that they'd have been more like embracing technology, because I mean, let's be honest, you're sitting inside. I grew up there.
Yeah.
you're either drinking beer or watching football on Sundays because you're snowed in.
Well,
So
that's
why
the
are you
problem.
not on the web?
That's the problem. Is all you're doing is talking about the Steelers' defensive line.
I never said a word about it.
and you're not doing anything productive with your time.
This guy, he's brought up the Whalers already, and now, Jesus.
You're going, oh, Brad, what do you think about the Steelers this year? And that's
Oh
your
my
entire
God.
day.
Half the last podcast was about Terry Bradshaw.
Well, that wasn't me. That was Sophie. Sophie Adamati brought it up.
Yeah.
She actually, it was a wound that I like. It was very deep for
Oh,
me.
we hired Terry Bradshaw to do a video, like
No.
yeah, like 15 years ago when we were just starting. We wanted to have a name for ourselves, and I'll show it to you someday. I actually had hair back then. And yeah.
So did Terry.
Mike, can I ask you a question?
So did Terry. That was no.
In the industry you're in terms of funding litigations, that kind of thing, is the formula set? Is it something static, or do you see innovation in the way that either yourself or other people fund litigations or approach the problem of helping a lawyer fund their litigation?
Yeah, there's a lot of innovation, kind of a crowdsourcing thing going on now with some of these marketplaces where an investor can come in and bid to pay certain interest rates on certain groups of cases or cases.
Really?
Mhm. And lawyers can go on and put their cases on and get offers for funding. It's not getting a lot of traction,
Wow.
but there's some innovation there.
Is that something
that is
that
very
your
innovative.
firm involves itself with, or are you guys
No.
more of an established, structured, you have your formula, it works?
Yeah, I mean, we're already established with our own
Yeah.
capital and that kind of thing. Another thing I saw in the trade show hall yesterday I thought was really interesting is this group called Law Clerk. Have you seen them? Been around for 2 years? Yeah, so they have lawyers who want to hire people and lawyers who want to do gig work, right? And so the hiring lawyer says, I need this brief written. I'm willing to pay $500. That goes out to all the people who've signed up to write stuff. And, it connects these two people together, and they have like 2,400 users or something after 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so these people can be in Starbucks in their workout, clothes, writing briefs or whatever. And
Tom, you should use this for your Tinder app. I mean, you're very good at it, so maybe you should
Use what specifically?
I mean, you could
He's
match
taking
like
notes. He's
law
taking
in
notes.
motion. You could swipe left or right for like swipe left, law in motion. Swipe right. No, I don't want that.
Well,
person.
there's a hole
Yeah.
in the market. You have an app similar to a Tinder or a Bumble for
What's
litigation.
a Bumble?
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to. To swipe left or right for litigation support
There you go.
staff and say, I'm looking for a clerk or a first-year associate. Swipe. Oh, look at this guy's haircut. Click. That kind of thing.
no, I think you could put together a virtual law firm through that. Is what I thought. You can create a team of people that could be all
That's
around
the horizon.
country
Is the next
Yeah.
horizon
I
is
think so.
a successful law firm where you have, let's say, 10 bodies in 10 different states
Yeah.
who are doing different things, but they're one cohesive unit,
Yeah.
at least on paper.
Yeah.
That's an interesting horizon.
and you can work from home.
Work
Yeah.
from home, have a family, have a life.
Have a life.
We could be in a hot box trailer in San Diego.
Yeah,
The penalty
or,
box.
Or you could be
Penalty
commuting back and forth an hour and a half each day in L.A.
Yeah, probably
Is that?
not.
Do you think, Mike, that model's over with the emergence of all the technology and the remote and all this? Will we find an end at some point to the localized nerve network in an office tower downtown where people are commuting an hour and a half every day, or will that always exist because you need face-to-face interaction?
Well, I'm not sure most plaintiff lawyers are in major downtown office towers.
I'm still
right?
thinking like an insurance guy.
Yeah, I think they're probably out in the community a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think there's always
I'd
going to be a
agree.
need for that,
Yeah.
But I think you can have a much smaller office and a lot more people working from home
Yeah.
and a much smaller rent and overhead.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be where it goes.
Yeah.
Why would you lose productivity of people being in a car? Unless you're listening to this amazing podcast, which we know you are because you're
Well,
hearing me talk.
some employers value the in-person FaceTime so they can track who's there, who's invested, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
But there's technology
Some
now-
employers value
Yeah.
that.
There's some technology now that can track those things.
Yeah.
You can see when you're logged into your computer when you're actually working.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when the courts catch up with this too? I mean, people are not going to have to drive down to the courthouse if the judges have video monitors,
Yeah.
and you can be,
Sure.
you can be in your living room in your underwear with a tie and a suit on on the top and making a court appearance,
We could have
right?
posthumous
Like that's
Tom
great.
Conroy. He's been disbarred for 3 years. We could have make a telecrop. I mean,
I have carte blanche, my friend.
it's hologram Tom. Is hologram Tom going to be able to grow a mustache? Is that a feature we could put on his avatar?
I've
Oh,
asked you
definitely.
before not to bring up my ADA-protected disability on the air.
It's okay. I don't have sideburns. I'm 57.
Yeah. I think
I could grow like the Amish thing down here, but that's all I
if
got.
you've ever seen a tabloid or paparazzi picture of Justin Bieber, I aspire to that level of, of awful mustache.
Virility.
Yeah, anyway, we've wandered far afield from our designated
Yeah.
topics here.
Man, so we've had a good time. talking about the future of law and how, financing is an integral part of everything that we do. We grew our practice from it. We were able to grow and hire associates when we didn't have the income coming in because all these cases were on appeal.
Right.
Able to do a lot of things. And, Mike, thank you for everything that we've done with the community. You have the 7th Amendment thing going through. AJ, all proceeds of his book go to that. He's in the system to fight for consumer rights. It's a passion, not a need for this man. He's probably got more than enough revenue and wealth to do what he needs to do, but he's in the fight, the collective good for all of us. So thank you, Mike Swanson, for coming on. Thanks, my co-host. Tom Conroy, thanks to our color man, the GG, the G Goody, G Good, Be Good. Grayson
Thanks, Mike.
Goody.
Thank you,
Need
Mike.
one of those books, too. I need one of those
You
books.
got it.
Any questions, media@justicesteam.com. Check out Advocate Capital. Mike Swanson, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. And Tom Conroy, what do we have to tell our listeners?
If you have athlete's foot, get the spray. No sleep till justice.
No sleep, till,
sleep
justice.
till justice.
All right.
You've got a limp, you've got back.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Justice Team podcast. We're here in sunny San Diego.
It's always sunny in
It's
San
always sunny in San Diego.
You know, San Diego is Spanish for
Whale's vagina.
Saint Dave. Did you know that?
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is our first ever non-legal related podcast. So this is Corey. Say hi, Corey.
Hello, everybody.
Now give him your signature.
What's up, peeps?
So we're filming in San
calm down,
Diego.
bro. Calm down.
And we thought it would be interesting to have a local San Diegan, not born and raised, but
Correct.
local San Diegan.
Do you like that restaurant, Born and Raised, though?
Not really.
Dude, it's awesome. Right over in Little Italy.
You can get a better steak somewhere.
Oh, come on. This guy walked on set for our
Is
YouTube
that a,
listeners. He has some kombucha.
He's a Sizzler guy.
Yeah, Sizzlers, yes.
Corey's a local San Diegan. He's a small business owner. He's got a really cool new business venture we wanted to have him on and talk about.
Okay, how can we keep us lawyers fit, man? We work all day. We don't have time to go to the gym. What solutions you got, Corey?
We have a service we bring to you. We have a company called Spin and Go. I know you guys are familiar with spin
Did you
classes.
say spit and go?
Spin. Spin and go. So we bring fitness classes to you, mainly a spin class. I know you guys are familiar with spin classes. There are studios all around every city, LA, San Diego, DC, New York. You have it. We took on the opportunity to bring the class to you because everybody's
Do they
so
have
busy.
them in Baltimore? I think that it's right. They do not.
Not in Baltimore, no.
Yeah, I mean,
not yet.
that's the Ravens are a problem.
The Ravens
They're not fit.
keep everybody fit with their energy. I don't know what they do in Pittsburgh, but
Well, I think they're like I actually saw a study that they had prescribed more Xanax than any other city during football season in Baltimore.
they need it. They need it. I think they got it from Pittsburgh, though.
Corey, how do you get the spin classes going in somebody's, like, say my law firm wants to have you come over and do a fitness class. How many bikes do you bring? Like, what is the setup?
So we bring 10 bikes, actually 11 bikes, one for the instructor. And you can have 10 participants, of course, at one time. We do back-to-back classes. We also come out monthly. We can come out 3 times a month. We have contracts that go on to a year, just depending on what you would like for your company, how fit you would like your company to be.
Yeah, so I mean, for a lot of attorneys, they're working ungodly hours. In the office, it's 7 or 8. They get out of there, they're lucky 6, 7. Kind of come in. Are you flexible hours? You can come in early morning, afternoon. How do you usually do it?
We're very flexible. We appoint you a schedule, and whatever time period you like for your class to work out, we will come at that time period either every time we come or the first time you hire us. We just come to you.
And you are in San Diego.
For our YouTube watchers, we have a Magnum PI's taking photos of them out there. Can you see them? I think it's Magnum on a Lime scooter.
Whit Birch. So you're in San Diego right now, exclusively in San Diego.
Yes.
And you have I see you do a lot of breweries, right?
Yeah, we do a couple breweries. Those are charity events.
Oh, cool.
We're now getting into luxury apartments.
Okay.
People pay such
That's a
high
good
value
idea.
and amenities and HOA, so we're starting to show these apartment complexes how we can add value.
So
to
if somebody wants, if there's any, we have a lot of legal listeners here in San Diego, law firms. If someone wants to get a hold of you, to hire you, maybe come in their parking lot or wherever, how do they get a hold of you?
I can be reached at Corey at spinandgo.co, I can be also reached at Corey Butts or Coach Butts on Instagram. Also, Be More
One
Fake
T or
Co.
two?
Two T's.
You cross those T's?
I cross them every time.
Nice.
So if you want to, reach out to Corey. I know he's a good instructor. He's a good personal trainer because I actually know him through my wife. You were my wife's personal trainer.
That's
for a
correct.
While.
Yeah, for a while.
She actually says, I got to get back into Corey. He's got to whip me back into shape. I need somebody to yell at me and
this
call me
sounds a
names.
little-
Does she have
uh,
one T? Does she cross her T's?
No.
Does she cross your T's?
Mine.
Yeah.
I don't have any T's in my name. But the real reason we want to bring you on is talk shit about the Ravens, right?
Yeah, we can talk a little the Ravens. How they on the Steelers
Do
every year.
they have a quarterback who can throw next year?
No, they don't need to throw. They're just going to run it.
Yeah?
That's how they won the World Series the first time, right? Then they just run the ball down everybody's throat.
Jamal
I mean, I'm just saying-
Lewis.
They also had Ed Reed
Reed
and Ray Lewis.
Well, you got some people back there that can help
is
out.
T.
No
Sizzle
more
coming
people
back?
from Miami.
T. Sizzle can't come back. I think he went to the Steelers, didn't he?
No.
No.
Oh.
He went to prison.
Arizona. Prison zona.
So, you're not born and raised San Diego. You're from Baltimore.
Yep.
Came
Baltimore
out
City.
here. Actually, you were. Because we all went to. We've had this conversation before. We lived in D.C. for. We all went to George Washington, so we know D.C. pretty well. When did you come out to San Diego?
I came out to San Diego about 10 years ago. I was also in D.C. I had a health club in Connecticut at L Street in D.C.
Oh, nice.
It's about a couple blocks from the White House. They're still there. They've opened up 7 more health clubs inside of D.C., servicing the
What can you
Class A buildings.
Whenever you come in, do the people have to sign up for an app, or like how's it work when they come in? When you come into a business, like how do you run it? You just show up with the bikes and they don't have to do anything else, just work out, yo.
Well, they have a contract.
We send you a contract you have to fill out, and
Okay.
then we send you an invoice as well. And then we just show up with the bikes we set up. You bring your people down to take the class.
What do you do?
We
Is
teach
a little
the class.
high intensity interval training?
There's everything.
Climbs.
I have about 5 instructors, so everybody does something different. It just depends on what they put for their.
I
menu
kind of
for
like
the day.
lazy rivers. So do you have
You can do
anything that
low
equates-
impact.
You can do. Yeah, we can get low. We can
No,
get
but I
low
like
for you.
for someone else to like move me along casually. Is that an option?
Like in the movie Wall-E. You ever see the movie Wall-E
Yeah.
where they just float around?
Yeah.
If
I
you
can't
can make
wait
your
for
legs
that.
move by themselves, then you'll be fine.
All right, I'm interested in your product.
All right, I'm willing to invest. Well, cool, man. You started it, relatively recently, right? Maybe a year ago.
we started in 2017.
Okay.
So how busy are you guys now from where you were in 2017? How often are you doing this?
We're doing it every Wednesday, Saturday. We have a class. We have 2 classes on Saturday. We have a class on Monday, and we also have a class on Thursday. So we're getting a lot busier. We're picking up more contracts as we start to dive into more luxury apartments here in San Diego.
So who are your biggest clients? Are they like these apartment complexes, or are they big businesses? How's it looking?
Apartment, both.
Okay.
We have a couple of smaller companies, and we have some big apartment complexes here in San Diego. 2 are in Little Italy. They're brother and sister.
So how much does this cost? Like, say, for the people listening and they want to get 10 bikes going, maybe 2 or 3 rounds of it for their employees. What is this usually? What do you charge? Is it per bike or is it per session?
So it's on demand. So one time, if we come out for one time, it's $250.
Oh, that's good. For 10 people?
$250,000.
$250 million.
Either way, it's a steal.
Not a deal.
Yeah, so we just bring the bikes out. And like I said, we have 3-month contracts, 6-month and a year contracts. So that makes the price just a little bit less, and you get more rides throughout that month.
Very cool.
So if you had to give some pieces of advice for a lot of our listeners are busy professionals working odd hours, could be 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., could be 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., we don't know. How could you, best recommendations for lifestyle or health and fitness, wellness for
Fitness
people
on
that
the
bounce
go.
around? Yeah,
Kegels are usually pretty good.
Right? Cankles.
Kegels?
Yeah, what can I do in my, office workout?
Yeah, come on, man.
Like 10 minutes.
Give
I need
us
a quick
some
10-minute.
real life. What can we do?
Just some
man?
burpees.
Brandon sits on this giant ball in his office. Is that going to work out for him?
That's not going to help
good for
much.
my
It's going to work out for his back. The best thing is to stay active as possible. I know you guys work a lot. If you can just think of a time where you're at your desk and you're kind of stressed out, just stand up, do some squats. Do some push-ups in your office. It's not really that hard to do. You can do some lunges in place. You do some jumping jacks just to get that blood flowing, and it'll help re-energize your brain as well to get you back
How
on
about
track.
like chewing? Does that help?
Chewing?
Guys, like, no.
It's only helping your jaws.
Yeah, we all have standing desks at our office. except for the Simons, we don't have. Everyone else has standing desks except us.
Yeah, standing. Ugh. Who does that?
The more you stand, the more you move, the better off you'll be.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very cool. So you got any? You got one going on today? You got any classes going on today?
No class today. Sundays are my day off.
You're actually. I saw you're building. Aren't you building a gym right now?
Just opened last week.
Oh, it did?
or
Nice.
2
Where's
weeks
it at?
ago. It's over on. It's at the old Union Tribune building, right off of El Camino del Reino.
Okay.
350. It's right up between the 163 and the 8, right there behind Fashion Valley
What's it
Mall.
called?
It's called Be More Fit.
And that's your Instagram handle too.
Yep.
If you want a little daily inspiration, follow Be More Fit.
Be More Fit Co.
You can see
Follow
Corey
me.
dancing and singing in his car every morning.
I will
making
try to
protein
my
shakes.
best to motivate you the best way I know how, because it motivates me. So I think it helps everybody else just to see a smiling face and to see some.
Do you ever do like the selfies with like the cat eyes or change your face, that type of stuff on your Instagram?
Filters.
You like that?
No, I believe that I'm ugly enough. So
You're a purist.
if you have to,
Yeah,
if
you
I
don't
have to
need a
change my
filter.
face, then it's going to make me look better, and I look in person. So when you see me, you're gonna be a little confused.
Wow, dude, that's a powerful message. I think we're almost up though,
Yeah,
Brand.
before we let you go, I need the Mount Rushmore of Baltimore sports.
Ooh.
Corey's a big Baltimore. He's born and raised Baltimore. Big Baltimore Ravens fan.
Oreos,
Oreos.
Baltimore Oreos.
Oh, they said Oreos.
You want the teams? Or
You want-
want
like
I need
Oreo? I love
the
Oreos.
athletes. The Mount
Athletes?
Rushmore athletes, Baltimore athletes.
Well, man, you got to go Cal Ripken.
we gotta
Yeah.
have Cal Ripken, Eddie Murray.
Ooh. Frank Robinson? Or was he just the coach there?
No, he was just.
He was on
Dude,
the
you
Reds
got-
too.
I mean, I got mine.
We got Ray Lewis.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And
And,
number 4.
Trent Dilfer.
Yeah,
Have
what's
to
a
be-
deal?
What's a Dilfer?
Winning Super Bowls. That's what a deal for. And one more.
One more.
Maybe Ed.
Ed Reed would be my 4th.
Yeah, gotta be.
Yeah, it's my 4th.
All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it,
It's,
guys. It was good to hang out with some Steeler guys.
Yeah,
for
if
a
you
minute.
want to,
If you look
wanna
at my
hang out-
logo, it looks kind of like a Steelers.
Yeah, he used the
colors.
black and gold because that usually is. You're a winner. Yeah, winner.
Winners win.
If you want to reach out to Corey, give him your plug again, like the website or who you reach out to schedule some spin and go classes.
Corey.spinandgo,
COREY.
COREY at spinandgo, SPINANDGO.co is my email, and I can also be seen on Be More Fit Co for Instagram.
That's one T.
One
Cross.
T,
2
2 T.
2 T's.
COREYBUTTS.
All right, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, guys.
all your life, but don't settle that case
All right. Good morning, everyone, from sunny San Diego. We are podcasting live at the AAJ conference. This is the Justice Team podcast. We have 2 very special guest stars on today. We're going to talk about something different than just boring legal stuff. We're going to talk about media, marketing, how to get yourself out there. To my left, we have, introduce yourself, Teresa, please.
Teresa Diep.
To her left is someone that's semi-related to me.
Christine Bullock, wife to Robert Simon. And
Someone last night thought that you were my wife, and I wasn't even here.
wife swap? No.
Oh, wait, I heard it.
Oh.
And we've got Tom. Just, I guess, say your name.
I don't know anything about marketing or media, but I am here to fulfill the federal requirement that at least one Tom be present at all Justice Team podcasts. So here I am.
We got one Tom present. All right, so
We are in compliance
must
with
be
federal
good.
law.
A lot of people starting out, and I know when we were starting out, it's really hard to get your name out there, get your face out there. Unless you have some special gimmick or billions of dollars, it's hard to compete with the advertisers. So how do we do it? I mean, Teresa, how do you do it for my firm? Because I have no idea. People ask me, what are you guys doing this weekend? How did you set up Law de Gras? I said, I have no idea. I just show up.
Well, it takes a lot of work. You have to devote a lot of time to it. But there's so many free tools. Social media, obviously, is one of them. It's the most popular tool out there. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do it, but it is time-consuming. I think the first thing you need to know is who your target demographic is. create your content that would be appealing to your target demographic, and start from there.
So what would you say are like the biggest time wasters, like things that people put a lot of time and money into that just doesn't get a lot of exposure or bang for their buck?
Emailing me.
Can I actually?
Yeah, that's a black hole.
I want to add in because I think one of the first things that you have to know before you even put time into it is what your brand is.
Yes.
So you have to know, you know who your consumer is already, but you have to know, like, you guys have this funny edge to you. You know what your brand is, and you've built it. So I think also, to answer your question, one of the biggest things to waste money is putting money into anything without knowing that first.
Absolutely.
So Christine, like what would say your brand is, and how do you put yourself out there, and how are you capitalizing on you?
I mean, just like you guys, your brand is really you. It's your personalities within the Simon Law Group. And for me, I've always been a fitness expert, created all those DVDs, and now have a skincare brand too. For those of you who don't know,
how are you a fitness expert when your husband's a fat pig?
I don't. First of all, he is not. Also, I'd like to say he brought his spirulina with him here, and I am so proud of him.
He brought his what?
His
spirulina.
What's
Is that his mistress? What is
His
that?
spirit animal?
Spirulina?
He's got a Greek
Yes.
mysterious lady on the
It's
side.
like
A Greek lady.
blue-green
with spirulina.
algae, packed with amino acids.
How about
high in
this?
protein,
Let's change direction.
Oxygenates the blood cells.
Let's change direction a little bit. Let's just talk about Bob and what weird things does he do at home that he would be completely embarrassed about everybody knowing.
First, he's not going to be embarrassed at all, but the way that he eats food from Remy's hands is just like he sticks his tongue out and then just like, I'm like, ugh. Just
He's been doing that to me for literally 40 years.
exactly,
Fat
so
pig.
you know.
Fat pig. If this was Charlotte's Web, Charlotte would say fat pig.
He actually
It would be
does my.
spectacular, Tom.
Oh.
Wait, I was going to say he does my DVDs, but since you guys are saying he's not in shape, so maybe. Never mind, he doesn't do my DVDs.
He doesn't do them well.
So, Christine, can you plug yourself real quick if people wanted to get a hold of you and see kind of how you get out there and how you have, because you have tons of followers and you're you have a blue check mark.
I do.
True
have
or
a blue
false?
check
You have
mark.
a blue
I'm
check
a real
mark.
person. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
But I think, to kind of answer, I do have ChristineBullock.com. I have KOBodyCare.com. I have Evolution20.com. It's important to keep the website constantly changing. With the new KO website that we've done, we're constantly revolving the photos, doing new videos. I think video content is very important, and I love that not only do you guys have the podcast and you're reaching out in audio, but having video for people to really know who you are. People want personalities nowadays because so much is out there, so they want to feel like they know you and that you're a family.
Hashtag awesome.
Yeah.
But hashtags, I don't understand how they work.
They actually don't work.
They don't work.
Now, no, actually, Instagram just did a whole thing on social media, like within the last 2 weeks. They started to remove likes in Japan and Australia. I think they may remove the likes here because they don't want it to be a contest for people. But also, the hashtags actually don't work as well anymore.
So how are people searching to find your content?
Well, for me, it's really just finding my name and getting it out there and other video content. So the thing in social media is the more interaction you have within like the first hour to 2 hours, and the more likes and comments, the higher that it posts up in like the search center where you see new content. So you want everybody to come in within that first hour to 2 hours, even if it's like your family and you're like, you better comment on every photo that I have, not just like, so that comes up in people's search tools. And videos are doing a lot better than they love when you're doing the HGTV, the videos do really well on Facebook too.
It's also about timing too. You have to know when to post.
When? I mean, like, what do you mean when? Like
When?
days
So
of the week?
if you have a business page, you have analytics that you can use. So Instagram will tell you when your audience is mostly on Instagram. So you can target your ad for a specific time period. So for us, our audience, they're on there all the time.
Yeah, Tom's audience is on at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I have a very niche following. Very, very niche. That's a different podcast.
So 9 to 12 is when our audience is most active, and then 6 o'clock, which makes sense, after work and before work, lunch break. The biggest mistakes that I see people doing is is posting at really
Can we track
random
when
hours.
when my employees are on social media?
Yeah, you can. I think.
Yeah, actually, you can see that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Axe is
I'm not
coming
going to
down.
narc though, Brad.
Monday morning email. We're going to
Snitches
start
get
collecting
stitches.
iPhones.
And industry events, let's talk about that because there's a lot of events in the legal field. So many things to choose from. So, like, Teresa, how do you pick which ones we should do? Because we're doing this one, and it's amazing, and it's visible, and we somehow got right in front of the conference hall with an Airstream. I don't know how that happened, and people were asking me how that happened, and I said, I don't know. Ask Teresa, media@justiceteam.com, right? Media@justiceteam.com, Teresa?
Yes, it was actually, we
media@justiceteam.com?
had to jump through a lot of hoops for this one just because it's logistically, I mean, you've got a 2,000-pound Airstream, and we were going to be inside the exhibit hall, but they couldn't fit it in the service elevator. So they said the next best
Bullshit.
thing is we're going to have to put you outside. You know, they call this experiential marketing, where you engage consumers in a different way. Or in our case, we engage our fellow attorneys in a different way. So they could come in, they could podcast with us. It's a completely different experience. And that's really popular right now with big brands.
Because whatever we're doing is working very well, getting our name and
Where you're being
likeness
innovative.
out there.
You're being innovative.
Well,
right now.
Teresa,
Times have changed.
Teresa is being innovative.
Yes. Yeah, she is. She's very innovative with what you guys
Brad,
do.
if it was Charlotte's Web for you, it would just be lazy. Dense. Block of wood.
That's too much. That's not enough webbing for block of wood.
Charlotte is a very, very competent spider. How dare you?
And she dies at the end.
Wait, was Charlotte?
Spoiler alert.
What?
Yeah, Charlotte was a
Spoiler
spoiler.
alert.
Wow.
God.
Sorry for
But
all
then she
those
has the babies that come out.
second grade listeners out there.
No, she has the babies that come out
I
at the end. That's
forgot
the
why
happy
I
ending.
really didn't like that book.
Yeah, that's the ending in the movie, but the book,
Not in the book?
I don't think so. I thought she just dies.
I think she does. I think I remember. I hate all sad.
All right,
animal
next
things.
podcast
Yeah.
is Charlotte Webb's podcast. Does she die in the book with babies and is that the movie?
Way to
Stay
keep
tuned.
it light,
Stay
Brad.
tuned.
Yeah. / Animal Farm podcast. We discuss the allegory.
So we're going to be cutting this one short, but I just wanted to get any thoughts for the listeners out there. Say someone has a shoestring budget. They're starting their law practice, and Christine assume somebody is starting out in the fitness world and they really need to get out there. What advice would you give to somebody who just wants to spend as little money as possible but be as effective as they can in their market?
Me first. Hire your family for free. Just kidding.
But just kidding.
And then
but
your
not.
friends
Yeah,
too.
Right. I'm very expensive on the balance sheet.
And put them on the shoestring budget.
Yeah.
I think the first thing is, you just got to know where you're starting from, and it's really about you getting out there, going to all the events first, and meeting everybody and networking. That is marketing, and it's the best marketing. Like just networking, going to events, and then you just continue to build from there. I think social media is definitely important, but I think in your business, I think the networking is even more important for you
I remember
guys.
when we were
Bringing
starting out,
cases and stuff like that.
Bob would always have just business cards on him, and he would work into the conversation that what he does, even if it was the most, he would be checking out at a grocery store, and he'd tell the clerk, hey, anyone slip and fall in here today? I'm a personal injury lawyer, but be funny and engaging
really?
about it, and he would just give them their card.
That's
and,
hilarious.
Yeah.
All it takes is that one person to have a friend that got hurt in something, and they'll remember.
How
Ding
many
dong. Hello,
cases-
Mr. Simon. Pursuant to Megan's Law, I have to identify myself as a sexual predator. Hello, friend. I'm Bob Simon. I'm an attorney.
I live 2 doors down.
Yeah.
Teresa, the question that I forgot that I said is now posed to you.
I would say if you're not on social media, you need to get on it. And I think it's also good to do it on your personal page. Obviously, you don't want to hit all your friends and family with ads every time you're on there, but you should definitely talk about what you do because people are going to remember that, So if you're not on social media, get in the game because it's free.
You have to.
It's, an effective platform. I mean, brands have made a lot of money doing that, starting out. So definitely get on social media.
So is there one social media platform that's better than, because I know I'm on Instagram and I buy most of the things on Instagram. It's just like, oh, I was just thinking about this shoe and now it's in my feed.
Instagram is the new. It's a little younger too. Even we're younger, but Facebook, the demographic is much older,
Yeah.
and it's not utilized as much to buy stuff. They see you, they see your brand, but Instagram is where it's at. YouTube a little bit. You know, I don't know about law so much, but I think it could be really.
Actually,
utilized
fun
very
fact,
cool.
our most viewed video, well, besides our lip sync video, is our Emotions in Lemonade podcast video. It has over 6,000 streams on YouTube. And it's, I don't think it's our best, but for some reason it's...
Was
People
Brandon's
wanna
shirt
learn
like
about
low
it.
cut? I don't understand.
I don't get it. But I think it's more people are searching for it as an educational tool. Because I go to YouTube to find things to like learn. Like if I'm trying to figure out how to get a stain out, like, you know, I go to YouTube.
How to
So-
beat Bowser in the final level.
I
you
spend
go.
most
Yeah.
of my time in Mario Kart chat rooms. Is that the next horizon for what we're talking about?
That's your 3 a.m. niche. That's your audience.
So I should not be talking about
No,
the firm
I
in my
mean, we
Mario
don't-
Kart chat rooms?
But also, the more views you get, if you have that posted on your website too, it brings your website higher on the search tool, so that when people just look up law, it comes up more because it's attached.
Yeah.
Let's talk about websites. I mean, how do you know what to register, and is there any strategy on reserving certain websites over another one when you're looking into starting a new venture?
I just make it your name for sure. Whatever, you know, it's really easy to create a website. You GoDaddy, you can create it on. There's some where it's just literally you could create it on your own. There's so many web developers out there, whether locally or you just find somebody online that can create it. But I think the one big tip I have is find somebody you like, because if you change from that web developer, most likely the next web developer is going to have to rebuild the website. They hate working on old websites.
Yeah,
So
they do.
just know what you're getting into, but you can make it really basic and real basic information, and then continue to add, but add context. And you know what I mean? The thing too is context that people can use and want, and that's why that video is so important. So that's really important. Don't just put stuff out there to be out there.
Yeah.
So besides the Motion and Lemonade one, Teresa, which one was the most engaging for us? We had the lip sync video.
Can I answer?
Yeah, that lip sync
Tom,
video
you cannot answer.
has over 20,000 views.
Okay.
Which is crazy, because it's just us being silly. The Women in the Courtroom has 2,000 views, and Life of a Trial Lawyer with Arash Halmanpour has almost 2,000 views too. So our YouTube has really picked up in the last couple of months, which is fantastic.
Very good. Any closing remarks from anyone besides Tom on the panel here? Besides Tom?
There's only a select few that can race with Bowser. I've never seen it done other than yours truly. And when I find these people that can race with Bowser...
As Bowser or with Bowser?
As Bowser or with Bowser, one with the cart. That's how you know you have a true Mario Kart professional on your hands.
I mean, can we
that they
can we
can
edit
win
him
with
out of this
Bowser.
entire podcast? Can we just, anytime he talks, can it just be like a duck? Or the person from Charlie, wah, 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 wah,
Yeah,
wah,
you
wah,
know,
wah,
we
wah,
could
wah.
actually do
improving.
that in post-production.
All right, everyone. For Tom Conroy, Christine Bullock Simon, and Teresa Diep, I'm Brad Simon, signing off in San Diego on Marketing Tips Justice Team Podcast. Thanks, everyone. Au revoir.